He said, good, we got a problem. I said, what's that? He goes, your check ain't no good.
That's how we do it in the South.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. You know, this channel, we talk a lot about fuck-ups and, you know, other people doing stupid things and things like that. This one's on me. Not one of my proudest moments, but we can step back and laugh at it now a little bit, especially a little time has passed. You know, you got to think about it. I buy a lot of cars. I buy cars in random places. Hell, I bought this truck at a wheel shop. You know, I went there to buy a set of wheels. I bought the wheels and the truck. You know, it's just, I buy cars all the time, and it's almost like second nature. I mean, I buy cars like people buy friggin', well, I'll say about like buying a pack of cigarettes, but people don't do it anymore. But you know what I'm saying. I buy cars often. And, you know, and you know, there's some funny stories with some of that stuff buying. You know, you meet some interesting people, and sometimes you're the interesting guy. Real good friends of mine now, but at the time they didn't know me too good. You know, like that. Good friends of mine that have a dealership, you know, Vet City in Seneca, South Carolina. They specialize in late model Corvettes and things like that. And my buddy Barry and Jared down there, I love them. You know, and now really good friends of mine. You know, we have lunch all the time, shoot the bull, and all that good stuff. And, you know, and we laugh about this now. They had a vet that caught my eye. And, you know, if you've been on this channel for longer than 10 minutes, you will know that I'm a vet guy at heart. I love Corvettes. I get it honest. My dad loved Corvettes. I can't help it. I love Corvettes. I'm a vet guy. There's no given time that I don't have at least 2 Corvettes in my life, if not more. And we've told a lot of Corvette stories on this channel, you know, and you know, a lot of fun experiences in Corvettes. Some you'll hear about, some you never will. But moving on, this one we'll share. And we laugh about it, and I think they'll get a kick out of it when they see this too. So anyway, you know, every year for my birthday, I buy myself a car for me. You know, I may keep it for a little while. I may play with it for a couple months and sell it. But, you know, I always I'm like a kid. You know, I want to get that one, and it's always something odd. You know, you got to think, you know, it might be a Corvette. It might be, you know, a truck. It might be, you know, anything. And I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, I bought, you know, we've told the story numerous times, but I had my 88 35th anniversary Corvette. You know, that was my childhood dream car growing up. And you know, and I seek this car out. I actually ended up buying the one that I sat in when I was a kid in 1988 at Abraham Chevrolet in Tampa, Florida. And, you know, and I mean, that car, I kept it for hell 2 years, you know, and I finally sold it. And, you know, the guy that's got it, he absolutely loves it. It's just a fun turd, but you know, it's a great car. And I mean, it was like last year I bought the Cadillac Dually out of Las Vegas, the custom Dually. It was at SEMA. Hell, it was owned by Manny Fresh. I mean, it's just cool as shit, you know. You know, lower, get the Escalade front end on the front of it. It's just a cool ass Dually, you know. I kept it for a little while. It actually got damaged in transport coming here, but definitely a cool piece, a cool item. And hell, it's out in Texas somewhere now. And, you know, so like I said, every year for my birthday, that's always kind of a thing, like, what do I want this year? You know, it's like a new demo for me, you know, like something I want, not necessarily buying it because it's a good money maker or something like that, but, you know, like I just want something fun. And, you know, so it's always like a game, you know, like I start thinking about a month ahead, like, what do I want? You know, like, what would be fun? Just something I've always wanted that's just out of left field somewhere. And, this certain car that Vet City had caught my eye. And matter of fact, if you'll go back to our very first video we shot for this channel, that car's in it. It's a 1969 Corvette convertible. It's a 69, but it was built to LT1 specs. So it, you know, 70 was the first year for LT1 vets. But it's, I mean, it was just a badass drop top vet, hammered on 20-inch rally wheels, and just a beautiful car, white, black leather, black top. 4 speed. Like I said, engine was built to LT1 spec. So you got to think about it's a 350, 350 horse car, which in a vet that weighs 33, 3,400 pounds, of course, pretty quick for what it was, especially back in the day. And this car was immaculate. It was frame off restored. And they had it for a little while. And I watched this thing online. I was watching it like a hawk, and I seen it, and they'd relist it, and you'd see it pop up over here for sale, and over here they still hadn't sold it yet. And it's just inching closer and closer to my birthday. And my dad was still alive then, and I called my dad up, and I sent him the link to it, and he goes, "What the hell do you want with that thing?" I said, "I like it." And my dad hated the bumper vets. Bumper vets are 68 72, the metal bumper vets. My dad wasn't a big fan of those. He was a mid-year guy, so he liked the 63 through 67 vets. And they're okay, but I've always kind of leaned more towards the C3s. But anyway, he goes, "Well, it looks like a nice one." So me and you go ride and look at it. It's in your neck of the woods. I was living in Greenville at the time. So I said, "Hell, we'll ride down, second, have breakfast, and we're going to go look at this vet." So I didn't even have Barry's phone number then. I messaged Barry and told him, "Hey, I want to come look at that 69 vet you got." And, they kind of knew who I was. And I've seen them online, but like I said, we didn't really know each other too good at this point, And the event company's done a few events for them in the past and stuff, but not no big deals, nothing much past a hey in passing with these guys, and we get down there, and me and Dad will walk around this vet. And I'll be honest with you, the more we look at it, the better I like it. I mean, the car's immaculate, just gorgeous cars. And I'll be honest with you, Barry finds some of the nicest vets in the country anyway. He's got a knack for sniffing out good Corvettes. And this one's no different. I mean, it's gorgeous. Probably, step out on a limb, say probably the nicest bumper vet in the Southeast, one of them. At least one of them anyway. And I mean, that's saying a lot because they made a bunch of them. Beautiful car. So he's showing us everything. Think about it, he's got this barn full of Corvettes. I mean, beautiful cars. And you got this 69 vet sitting right in the middle of it. And I'm walking around it. You don't want to show all your cards, so you kind of got that poker face, and you're walking around, you're looking at little things, and there's certain telltale things you look at on a C3 vet that will really tell you if it's a nice car or not. And this car checks all the boxes. I mean, everything is just immaculate. Well, we get down to brass tacks, and we get dealing back and forth, and we go back and forth, and I said, "Listen, I've seen you guys had this thing for a while," and I said, "I imagine you'd like to roll this thing if at all possible." He goes, "We'd love to sell it, but," he said, "well, let's do an offer." And I made an offer, and they laughed at me. And I said, "Listen, you understand, I'm in the same business you guys are in, and sometimes you got to give a little more than you want to. It's part of the business." And yeah, I don't know. And I said, "All right, you can sit on this thing for a little while longer." And we were going back and forth, back and forth. You got to think about it. When you got two car dealers going back and forth with each other, it's always it's like a tango, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'll never forget, my dad just looked over and said, "Damn it, Rob, just buy the damn car. Jesus, you'll argue over $1. I gotta work for them dollars, so I like to save every one I can." Well, we finally got to a price we both could live with, and I was so excited. So, well, let me stop this story to tell you another story. So keep in mind, I own multiple businesses. You got to think about it. At the time, I had this truck shop, event company, this place, and I had. See, I had accounts for all those, but I also have tax accounts for all those. I mean, you got to think about this. 6 or 7, and a personal checking account as well. So 6 or 7 checking accounts, and I had a really bad habit of folding up checks and putting them in my wallet. Just because I didn't want to carry a checkbook around like an old man with a checkbook in my back pocket. So I'd fold up checks and just stick them in my wallet, and I'd have checks for the truck shop, or checks for H&H, and I'd have checks for RUC, and I'd have checks whatever. And I knew the account that I needed to write a check off of. I just kind of peeled around. Look, there's a blue one. So I pulled it out right quick. And kind of a a rule between, dealer to dealer. We can write each other checks back and forth. It's not usually, a lot of times, people are real leery about taking checks from people, but as a rule, going from dealer to dealer is usually a safe bet. Especially local guys. And I wrote him a check for the car, and he just went in and handed me the title. He goes, "Hey, let's get this thing out of here for you. Get it out of the building." I got the car out, and I'm out cruising around in my vet. Matter of fact, I pulled over in it on my birthday, the very first night driving it, and had a blast. Just riding around this thing, and it's just a great car. And brought it right over. This is actually before at the warehouse at the other building I kept cars in. Pulled it in there with all my other cars, and I just love that vet. The more I drove it, the more I liked it. And it never fails in this business. If you've got a car you really like, that's the one that everybody else really likes too. So naturally, I didn't have it but just a few days and sold it. But there was one problem with this. I got a little ahead of myself here. I ended up selling it about 10 days later. But before we got there, so I bought this car on a Saturday. I wrote a check for it. Didn't think anything about it. Got pulled over Saturday night in it. Drove it all day Sunday. Monday, I get a phone call. "Rob, you liking that vet?" I said, "Love it. Love it, love it, love it." So I drove it all weekend. He said, "Good, we got a problem." I said, "What's that?" He goes, "Your check ain't no good." I said, "Bullshit." And he goes, "Well, it's not working." And I said, the very first thing you do is you pull out your phone. You got your online banking. I check my balance, and money's there. So that shouldn't be a problem. And I said, and it's saying it's no good. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on, And he goes, "Yeah, it's no good." He said, "I got the check right here." And he said, it's written on whatever. We named the bank. Well, obviously I bank with different banks for different things. And when he named the name of the bank, it clicked. I wrote him a check out of the wrong account. And I thought about it. I actually had two accounts that had blue checks. And it was an account for this company and a tax account for another company. And I wrote him a check off a tax account. And I'm like, shit. The very first time I meet these guys. And, you got to think about it. You don't really get a second chance to make a first impression, and you're over here trying to build a rapport with these people, and you write them a fucking bad check, Rob. Come fucking on. Your check bounces. I said, literally, I didn't keep my time. I lived in Greenville. And, of course, Dad was coming home, and we're coming back to go driving to Seneca, going home because he lived there. I actually wrote my dad a check then and told him, "You take it to these guys right now." And he brought him that check that evening, and everything was good. Of course, that check was fine, and it cleared. But we still laugh about it. The very first time that I ever met these guys and dealt with them, and we've done several deals together since then. But the very first time, old Rabbit wrote him a bad check on a car. So just goes to show you, sometimes you get excited, and sometimes you're the ass of the joke. Anyway, guys, be sure to check out that first video. Check out that badass 69 vet. We got a lot of cool driving scenes in that one. And matter of fact, the guy that's got that thing now, he rides all over Greenville with that car. And you know what? I still drive down the road. I'm like, man, miss that old vet. Although I got a 69 coupe looking right here at me that I haven't driven in 6 months. So maybe I should just dig that one out and drive it. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars.